Hello and welcome to another video on CDI Hub. In this video, we're going to look at a tutorial of an app builder called Thunkable. I've had a look at the grade 12 curriculum, and one of the topics is Introduction to Mobile Computing and Mobile Development, leading to a project of creating a graphic user interface using a platform called MIT App Inventor. I have worked on MIT App Inventor last year, but I have found it a bit inflexible or rigid as to my students' needs. And so I've sought alternatives to make the experience of creating an application smoother for my students. And one of the options that I've come across is Thunkable, which is why I'm doing a tutorial just in case one of you is facing the same problems that I have. So we're starting off this video by going into Google and typing in Thunkable. Yeah, that would take you to a page and you click the first link there. Or you could just type in thunkable.com and it would take you directly into the page. What you'd have to do next is log in or sign up. So if you're a new user, you might want to click on sign up. But if you've already created an account on Thunkable, then login would be the option for you. As I've already created an account and started using Thunkable, I'm just going to go ahead and click on the login page and sign in using my Google accounts. Now what would happen is you'll be directed to this page, which is your workspace, and you have different sections here. Your projects should show at the top. These are the getting started videos, so these are created by Thunkable themselves, which would aid you to create different things using Thunkable. And then you'll have the projects at the bottom, the ones that you've created before, and sample projects as well. So you have sign in, sign out template, quote estimator app, drawing app, event planner, and these are all templates with all of the buttons, labels, features, and the block section already added. If you'd like to have access to more of the sample projects, you can go on and click on the sample projects on the side and you will see all of the different projects that's been created before. If you'd like to upgrade your account, you can go ahead and do that, and this will allow you to do so many different things, one of them being keep your application private. But as of now, we can only have, like, if you've not upgraded your account, you can only have a public project. So whatever you create on Thunkable will be available for people to view, and that is the public gallery right here. So since you've not upgraded, once you create your project is going to show here once you publish. And these are also examples of applications that were created by other people before. I'm going to go on and move back into the My Project section, and there's a tab at the top that says Create New Project, and I'll be clicking that, and then you can rename this project. And I'm going to call this my demo app, and that by default is going to be public. If you'd like to switch it to private, then you'll have to upgrade. That's one of the things that I was talking about. And we do want to check off the use drag and drop button or checkbox in order to have all these features here. Now, once you log in or you've created your app, you'll be directed to this page. On the side, you have the design button, the data, if any data are collected, assets, if you've added any assets. So if you've added any image, if you added any animation, if you added any video, those would be counted as assets that you've uploaded, and they will be right here. If you have any variables, that will be down here. And if you need any settings, and we'll go back to this section later on as we design different applications. But as of now, I'm just going to go back into the design tab. At the top here, we have the design section and the block section. So the design section is where you create the user interface. You can zoom in and out using these buttons. You can even pan. So if you'd like to move it using the pan, or you can just move the select box. On the other side right here, you'll have all the components. So whatever component you add, they're going to appear here, including the screens. And if I scroll down, I'm going to see all of the different components. So that includes buttons, labels, text. And if you'd like to create a group of buttons together, then you can do that, or a group of labels together, you can also do that. And all of these different features that are available down here. And then on the other side here, you will see the name of the screen. So this is also editable. So let's say your first screen is going to be a splash screen where you display your logo. So by changing that, you know which screen you're working on. So if, let's say, for example, you have 50 different pages and you move into the blocks section, you would be able to see the screen that you're working on and use the blocks that are related to it. And right at the bottom of this page as well, you could have scrollable. So change this to a scrollable, meaning you can scroll through that page in case you want it. If you don't want it, you can check it off. Background color, you can change as you please, return back to white, and so on. Or you could upload an image if you'd like as a background page. There's also the orientation. Would you like it to be a portrait, or do you want it to be a landscape orientation, or is it automatic, and so on. And this works for both Android and iOS. And then you've got the visibility tab. So the status bar, you could either have it visible or non-visible, and so on, and other things. So if I go back into this side here where the interesting part happens, let's say I want to create my splash screen and I've had a logo already created before. So in order for me to add that logo, I'm just gonna drag in this block here, or this component, which is called image. So you just drag and drop. Now if I zoom out a bit here, you're able to see that this image here is scalable. So I've got it right in the middle, and I can change it either by dragging it, or dragging the corners to change its size. And I can also change it through these dimensions right here. So the width, the height, and X and Y is the position of this box. So I'm just going to put it right in the middle, right there. And if I pan over here, so where it says picture, I need to upload a file. So I'm going to upload a logo that I've created earlier. And once that is loaded, I'll be able to see that logo in the middle. Yeah, so that's my logo there. If it's too small, you can still drag and drop. And there's also additional features here that you could see if you want to stretch that, if you want to change it into cover, if you want to repeat it. So maybe it's a small one and it would be repeated certain times into that box that we've added, which is from here, from over there. But I'm just going to stretch it over in order to make it a bit larger. Yeah, so that's my logo right there, my splash screen. There's a plus button right there that you can use to create extra screens. So once this extra screen is created, I'm just going to drag in a label right there, and I'm going to change this label into home page. And this is not for the purpose of creating an application. This is just for the purpose of showing what I'm going to show next. So as I have these features here, I can, for example, as my blocks code over here, just to show for demonstration, I'm going to try, once I've loaded this page, once I've powered my application and started it, I want the screen to be displayed for a couple of seconds and then move into the home page where my actual application is, where the user can actually do things. And I'm also going to change the name of this one and just call it home page as well. Yeah, so going back into my splash screen, as you can see, we are still in the design block. We can move on to the blocks section, and the splash screen is right here. If I click on that, I can see a set of different blocks that I can use alongside that screen. And so when splash screen opens, this is what I want. When the splash screen opens, I wanted to navigate. So once it opens, I want it to shift into the home page, but I don't want it to shift directly. I want it to wait for a couple of seconds before it shifts into the home page. So let's say I'm going to make it wait for about 3 seconds. Yeah. So going back to the design page, I've got my splash screen here and my home page, which only has a label. And if I click on the preview, 1, 2, 3, and it's switched into the home page. And just as that, we've created a splash screen. Now, if I just switch this off, we're back into the editing view where we can modify extra things. Now, for every component that we're going to add, there's a new set of features that would appear over here. So let's say, for example, button. If I drag and drop a button right there, so that's my button here. So for this one, there is the text that's going to be displayed. This you can edit. Let's say editable. Yeah, and you notice whatever you write there shows up here. You can also change the font depending on your preference. You can change the text color, say black for example, or white, or whichever color you need. You can switch that to bold, italic, however you please, or raised. You can change the font size. So if I swap this into, let's say 25, and you have a very large text over there. And if you check this one disabled, then that checkbox or that button is going to be disabled for the user, so they can't press on that button. This is a good feature if you want your user to fill in certain things before being able to click on a next button, for example. So that checkbox here would be, or this button here would be disabled until all of these sections or all of the labels that are assigned or the boxes have been filled by the user, and then this will be enabled again. So that would be something that you can do in the blocks section. So there is that. You can select the layout. So X and Y is the position of this box, and then W and H is the width and height of this box. However, if you don't want to play around with that on this side, you can also just use the corners of the object to drag it. And positioning is also very easy. So let's say, for example, you want to position it on this corner or in the middle or on this side. It's very flexible. Thunkable allows you to do all of that very easily. And then if you'd like to add a background color, you can do that. Or if you want to add an image instead of a background, you can also do that there. You can also select a border if you want to have a border for this shape. I'm not going to do that, but feel free to explore all the options. Now, if I look down here, I do have a very large set of components that I can add. There's the switch, there's a slider, checkbox, date input, time input, animation if you'd like to add animation, video if you'd like to have videos uploaded into your video, then you can do that. There is the option of adding a web viewer, a map, a canvas. Let's say you're creating an app for drawing and you'd like to have a canvas, you can do that there, and so many different options as well. This is a very easy web page or application builder to use in order to do so many different things and create countless of different applications. And as we've discussed earlier, for project CDI project for grade 12, then we'll be covering a set of different projects in the coming videos. So stay tuned to look at all of the different projects that we'll be creating together, and I hope one of them is useful enough for you. Thank you and have a good day.